right, good morning, Nigeria, and welcome to the agenda today. I'm coming to you live from the heart of Ibadan, your state, and I am Chike Obuogu. Today, we continue to debate a matter shaking the foundation of our democracy. The recent Federal High Court order directing INEC to deregister parties like the African Democratic Congress, ADC, the Accord Party, yes, the Action Alliance, AA, and the Action People's Party, APP. We also have the Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. And why were they said to have been deregistered at first? It was for allegedly failing constitutional performance thresholds under Section 225A of the 1999 Constitution as amended. Well, the appeal court has issued a stay, but the debate rages on. Does this strengthen our democracy by weeding out weak parties? Or does it risk turning Nigeria into a de facto one-party state? Well, joining me is an economist and sharp social commentator, Ignatius Ofino. It's good to have you again on the agenda this morning.
Good morning, Mazi Chike Obuogu.
Well, let's set the table, Ofino. What does the Constitution actually say? And why is this judgment controversial, this issue of deregistration of political parties?
Yeah, thank you very much. When we are talking about politics, politics simply means the scrabble for power and resources. Who gets what and how. But when we are talking about free and fair election, there must be the electoral umpire saddled with the constitutional responsibility to organize a credible, free and fair election that will be generally what? Acceptable. Now, let's go back to the days when we started. There was what we call the Federal Electoral Commission, FEDECO. From FEDECO, we had what we call NEC, National Electoral Commission. That was headed by Professor Humphrey Nwosu. Yeah. Then again, that Professor Humphrey Nwosu, he was the one that conducted the 1993 June 12 election. From NEC, we now had what we call NECON, National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, under General Sani Abacha. Dagu Kujak was the NECON chairman then. That time, Abacha wanted to transmute himself from a military head of state to a civilian president. If you remember very well then, it was 5 parties that were registered then. From NECON, in 1999 and 1998, the military government of General Abdulsalami Abubakar decided to constitute an electoral umpire. And they decided to give it that name, INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, so that it will look independent. So the first person that was given that responsibility was no other person than Justice Ephraim Akpata.
Yeah.
So he was there as the chairman from 1998 to the year 2000. Then from 2000 to 2005, we had one person called Dr. Abel Gobadia.
Yeah, Gobadia.
Yes. He conducted the 2003 general election. Then from 2005 to 2010, we had a professor called Professor Maurice Iwu. He was the one that conducted the 2007 general election that was being characterized by electoral flaws. You know, the president that actually won then, late Alhaji Umaru Musa Yar'Adua, did admit that the election was full of electoral flaws. Then that was why he now suggested that there should be what we call electoral reform. That was what led to the Justice Lawal Uwais Electoral Reform Committee. They now came up. So when it was now in 2010 to 2015, we have what we call Professor Atahiru Jega. he was not round and introduced what we call the card reader system, so that there can be what we call transfairness in that election. When we say an election is fair, we are not saying that it is absolutely right or perfect. But when we say something is fair, I think people will be able to say it's commendable, even though it does not near perfection. So that is why in election we won't say we want a perfect election. We will always say we want to call credible, free and fair election.
Not credible, free and good.
Not like that.
Only credible, free and fair.
And fair, it must be fair.
It cannot be good.
No, it must be fair.
Can it be good?
It can be good.
Okay.
It can be good, but when we look at that terminology, credible, free and fair.
So if it is fair, it is not free.
It must be free.
To be fair?
To be fair is free.
Okay.
So from 2015 to 2015 to 2025, we had a professor, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, the longest serving INEC chairman. He was there. So later in that year too, they appointed a woman some few months before they now appointed this man, the current INEC chairman, Professor Joash Amukpitan, S-A-N. He was just appointed, that was last year. So that is just a brief summary of the electoral cheer that we have been having in Nigeria from FEDECO. But the truth there is this: let's go that any political party that meets the status quo. Now, what does it say? You must have not less than 24 state offices. There must be the board of trustees. One, you must have your members, and your party secretariat must be functional. You must have a national secretariat too, probably in Abuja, but not less than 24 state offices. You must have members. And when you look at the Electoral Act from 1999, it did stipulate again that registered political parties that fail to measure up, INEC have the constitutional responsibility to do what? To deregister them.
So what is measuring up?
Let me give you an example. When election is being conducted, it is assumed that parties must win certain number of local government, certain number of wards. We have seen registered political party who never win any political ward, just one. So it's embarrassing. But mind you, there is one thing you must also know when you look at these political parties that are being registered. Believe you me, most of